let's do a video basically for this one person who specifically thought um, that Romeo, that wolf that got killed, was supposed to be a dog. I mean, it was supposed to be a wolf, but she thought it was supposed to be a wolf, and I think that he was a dog with wolf ancestry. I guess you could say wolf dog, like this dog. But there was something important I wanted to point out. So first off, I want to point out, see, there are two dogs here. One is 50% and the other one is 50%. Pretty much, they're 48 and 49%, as you can see here. This bigger wolf dog right here is 49%. Looks completely different from the dog down here, right? So you can tell that genetics change and have different effects on different dogs. That was one thing I wanted to point out. I also wanted to point out characteristics. These are the reasons why I do not think that Romeo was a wolf, a full-blooded wolf. I think he was a paired wolf. Reason why is I showed several wolf dogs that look way more wolf-like than Romeo did. And not just that. The features that they say wolf dogs have, he doesn't have. Like, first off, he does have almond-shaped eyes, and they're kind of close, and they are a certain color like this. But the tail is not like that. It doesn't stop at the hawk like that. His tail kind of is slightly curly, and it's a little bit shorter than that tail. Also, a wedge-shaped head. His head is not shaped like this. His head is shaped more similar to regular dogs. That was another thing. That's why I was saying he's a dog, because his face shape is a dog's. Wolves don't have dog faces. Now, he may have large paws. Most dogs do have large paws that are large. That's not really a shock. But I'm not saying that he's not part wolf, obviously, if he has the eyes, the large paws. I'm not saying he's not part wolf. I'm saying he is specifically part dog. This is the most important part of it. His face. If you look at photos of his face from the side, this is not how his face is. Wolves, their muzzle slopes down. That's why it's kind of connected to the V-shape thing that they have going on with their face right here. It all has to do with that muzzle shape. So, his face slopes down, the wolf's. Romeo's face has an L shape. Dogs, my dog right here, have my dog, as you can see. I can see she has an L shape to her face. Okay, so from the forehead to the muzzle, it's an L shape. And you can see that specifically Romeo has the same structure when he looks to the side. His L is not the strongest L, but you can still see an L. It's not a slope. So that's another characteristic that dogs have. Also, the rear legs should be cowhocked. I'm not really sure about that one, actually. His ears are similar to wolves, from what I have seen. All black, and this was the most important thing. Narrow chest. As you can see right there, you can watch Romeo walk. Romeo's legs are very much further apart. His chest is blocky. He is not a narrow chest wolf. So these are things to me that are obvious. He's not full wolf. Okay, now there are plenty of wolf dogs, by the way, that are not full wolf, obviously, because they're wolf dogs, and they are out in the wild, and they behave just as shy and aloof from humans and dogs as feral dogs and wolves do. See, feral dogs behave the same way as wolves do when it comes to not being raised around humans. And I know this because I raised dogs since they were 2 weeks old. Actually, 3 weeks old. But you can see before they're 6 weeks that the dogs are wild, honestly. You can see that they have a propensity to be wild, and they can go either way. They can either be wild or they can either be, you know, tame, domestic dogs. Before 6 weeks, they can be anything, you know. So this is why I think it's important to note that Romeo wasn't just any wolf dog that was just out in the wild that was feral. No. Because if he was, he would have been more aloof from humans. He would have been scared of humans. He would have kept his distance. That's not quite what happened here. And the reason why is because somebody raised him. And people don't raise just random wolves off the wild in the forest and just pick up a wild wolf and raise him. Nobody really does that, and it's kind of obvious by his phenotype that he was part dog. So it's not really a shock. Many people do raise wolf dogs. So, I mean, this situation wasn't that odd to me. Now, on the whole thing of you saying that I thought that somebody should have taken him into their home and raised him as a dog, that's not what I said. I understand that wolf dogs are very hard to take care of, and that's a very important thing to this story. He was out in the wild, right? He was out as a stray, basically. Many of the time with wolf dogs, they are raised as puppies, and then they are let go because of the fact that they cannot really adapt to at-home life. If they lived in an apartment, that's not a lifestyle that they can live in. If they even live in a house, they may not have enough land for them. They may not have the right infrastructure, basically, to keep them in their property. So he could easily run away. So when it comes to these situations with wolf dogs, I'm not saying that wolf dogs should be raised by regular people that just want another dog or something, take him in like a stray dog. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that specifically with wolf dogs, many of the time, wolf dogs are put to sleep when people find out that they're wolf dogs. But there are sanctuaries for wolf dogs. These people had 6 years to choose to actually find a sanctuary for the wolf dog, because you can understand, if he's behaving the way he's behaving, he cannot fend for himself. And plenty of the time they say this about wolf dogs, that they cannot fend for themselves because they were raised by humans. So they don't have the same mentality a wolf does. They don't know to stay away from humans. They don't have the same mentality as wolves because they weren't raised in the wild. Wild feral dogs have more understanding of how they're supposed to behave in the wild than actual wolf dogs that are kept in the house, because, like I said, with dogs, wolf dogs and dogs for that matter, which to me wolf dogs are dogs, they're just a different type of dog. Basically, when they're puppies, they can go either way. My small dog, like I said, I had a puppy that was very young. You can tell they can go any way. They go either way, basically, depending on their environment. So, basically, what I'm trying to say here is that wolf dogs can't care for themselves when they are raised by humans after that 6-week period, because now they become domesticated. So my point is in this conversation is I did not say that he should have been taken in by a random strange family. I was saying that specifically he should have a situation where he had a wolf dog sanctuary take him in and, just, keep him there where they can actually keep a good environment for him as a wolf dog. There are plenty of wolf dogs that live in wolf dog sanctuaries that are pretty much adapted to the type of environment that they need to live in, basically. So that's all I had to say here. I do think that. Oh, right here. I just wanted to read this because I thought this was interesting too. I thought maybe they have a little bit more information right here. Um, so, as far as high content wolf dogs, they will not have a stop. The stop is what I was talking about with Romeo. Romeo has a stop on his face. He has an L shaped face. His muzzle is L shaped. Um, So the stop is specifically on his forehead. That's where the forehead meets the bridge of the nose. So I'm just pointing out that specifically, he probably wasn't even a high content wolf dog. As according to here, if you have it, you're not high content wolf dog. And he had it. So to me, I always thought that Romeo was probably somewhere between 25 and 50% wolf, not a high percentage of wolf. Because if you look at how the other dogs reacted to him, dogs are scared of wolves. Naturally, they are scared of wolves. In the wild, they're scared of wolves. And, when they are domestic, they are scared of wolves. Dogs avoid wolves at all costs, no matter what their relation is with humans. Dogs and wolves do not act like they are a similar species. That's why I find it weird when you guys try and say he just came to a dog park and befriended some dogs, as if wolves ever recognize that dogs are wolves, or that dogs ever recognize that wolves are dogs. They do not recognize these things, okay? We think they look the same. We think they have a commonality, but they do not think they have a commonality. It's kind of like how we feel about chimps. We will never come up to a chimp and try and socialize with a chimp as if a chimp is human. We do not do that. You see what I mean? They can tell a difference. We cannot. That's just how it is. Now, I just thought that was important to see the interaction with the dogs. So even if a wolf had gone crazy and started trying to associate with dogs, the dogs will be very scared of the wolf, because dogs are naturally very scared of wolves. So it wouldn't matter how the wolf decided to act towards dogs, because the dog's not going to accept the wolf. You saw there at that dog park, those dogs accepted that wolf because to them he was probably just a stray dog, not specifically a wolf. You know, if you see how dogs react towards wolf dogs, you can see that dogs react very differently towards wolf dogs. They do not treat wolf dogs like wolves, especially low content wolf dogs and mid content wolf dogs. That's why I'm saying he probably was between 25 and 50% wolf. Here is specifically a scale of high content and mid content. Apparently, high content is very high. 81 to 99% is high content, basically. And he clearly is not that. His nose, like I said, he has a stop on his face. Okay? As far as wolf dogs, I would say he's probably, like I said, mid content or low content. He has other features that are non-dog like non-wolf like the narrow chest. Specifically, his tail was different from wolf tails, and his face is not wedge shaped, and he has a stop on his face. So that is why I'm pointing out that, it's important to point out that he was not a dog, but he was a wolf dog. It says in the beginning of this Wolf Dog Sanctuary website, it specifically says that wolf dog misrepresentation kills. And it certainly does in many different cases, just like Romeo. Because people will say a dog is wolf and then they'll kill it. And the dog wasn't even a wolf, like in Romeo's case. Some people who own dogs, will try and say that they're wolves and stuff, and then they will get them put to sleep. If they get basically confiscated and taken to like a shelter or whatever, they'll just put them to sleep because they don't know if they really are wolf, and they'll be like, on the basically just a caution, on their caution, they're going to basically put them down because they suspect they might be wolf, when they could be less than 25% wolf at the end of the day, and you just put the dog to sleep because it looked like a wolf. So it's the same thing. Plenty of wolf dogs are getting killed because people are thinking they're wolves. And there's a big problem. I've seen several articles about this, about people thinking dogs are wolf dogs. Dogs are wolves just by looking at them. And the dog may have no wolf in them. Plenty of dogs have been accused of being wolf dog and not even having any wolf in them at all. It's just that they were a different type of mixed breed dog, and they had different characteristics from each dog that made them look more like a wolf dog. So that's my whole point here, is that you guys misrepresenting wolf dogs is really killing wolf dogs out here, and Romeo is no exception. So that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye, guys.